I was pointing out that very uncomfortable.
Is that a truth?
It's an uncomfortable truth in many parts of the world. It's not a truth that I'm.
That's just, okay, and now don't let him get away, because that's not true. He started his career out, obviously post-UFC, by using other people, specifically people who had OnlyFans, and garnishing their wages. He exploits other people, specifically women in this case. He exploits women by taking the money that they earn from sex working, and then he takes it for himself, even though he's not doing the sex work. That's pretty f***ed up. One of the reasons he moved to Romania was because they have way less stringent laws on sexual assault of women, so that's also super f***ed up. He has been investigated as well as raided there for human trafficking. A lot of easy wins, just one after the other, right in front of you. It's a bad 1-2, not gonna lie. No matter who wins, we lose.
Tate's opinions on mental illness are equally controversial.
You can say they're bad.
Don't message me about depression because I don't believe in it. If you're asleep in your bed in the middle of the night and you hear a noise and you believe in ghosts, now you're afraid. But if you don't believe in ghosts, it's the wind and you go back to sleep. You give the ghosts power by believing in them.
Well, this summer, every major social media platform banned.
Hey, wait, what? I missed that part. What? You give ghosts power? Oh, no. Yeah, that's weird. You don't have a lot of those kind of like self-help gurus who are like, you got to overcome the paradigm of yourself, bro. You got to reach for the stars. See them up there? Grab every single one of them, or the ghosts win, or the fucking ghosts will beat you, because it's you versus the ghosts, bro. You know, they're all around you. You know, motherfuckers. All those fucking pieces of shit. They've all died and shit. They're all fucking around you. Fucking ghosts.
And Tate amid a global backlash of concerns about his influence on the young people who watch him. But copies of his videos are still shared millions of times every day. This show is called Uncensored. One of the challenges views directly, so he flew from Romania to sit here in this studio, and the full explosive interview airs later this week. Here's a bit of what's to come.
Okay.
Do you respect women?
Absolutely. Why wouldn't I?
Do you think that 18, 19-year-old women are more attractive than 25-year-old women?
I think there's attractive people. That's a loaded question. I don't know.
Well, it's not.
Really not. Also, come on. You say this shit all the time. You're basically like, oh, the younger, the better, bro.
Really, is it?
I can't.
You know why I'm asking you?
Of course I do, but I can't sit here and
say. For the benefit of viewers who don't know why I'm asking, you said this. In general, this is also.
Maybe Piers being like a lifelong twat, because that's basically, if I was to describe Piers Morgan, it's like, yes, a dignified career of being a lifelong twat. That's basically what I would describe him as. Maybe that is the perfect antidote to an Andrew Tate who thinks this is like another softball. You know, you can just be like, oh, I don't know, for a woman, you know, for in Bugattis, you know, top cheese.
One of the reasons men find youth attractive. You want to blow up the internet? I'll blow up the internet right effing now. The reason 18 and 19-year-olds are more attractive than 25-year-olds is because they've been through less dick. People say, oh, you can't say that, but yes, I can. A 19-year-old is more attractive than a 26-year-old woman, and I'll tell you why. Because that 26-year-old has talked to more guys, been to the club more times, been effed and dumped more times, more arguments, more mess, more for me to clean up. That is...
Why do you have to clean it up? I mean that. I know it's not literal. Maybe it is. I don't know. What are you doing?
Misogyny.
Why?
Because you are encouraged.
Why? I don't get the whole like, yo, bro, it's way better, you know, bro, if a woman, she has no experience, not at all. Yeah, it's better, bro, if she's never seen a dick, not once. It's way better, Really, yeah, you know, trust me, bro. You want a woman who's never touched or seen a penis, not once in their life. Yeah, has zero experience with it, because they're gonna be the best. It's like the best of what? Like learning how to pleasure the penis for the first time? Is that where we're going with this? I would hope, I would prefer even if she's had much experience with the penis and then knows how to use the penis, because that sounds more fun than the first time. You know, just kind of, I don't know. A lot could go wrong. There's a lot of opportunity for damage, let's say that. So it's probably better if, you know, it's not this weird yeah,
put myself out there. About 25-year-old women that makes them sound out to be infinitely less desirable than 18, 19-year-olds, and having effectively been having too much sex to be taken in a more respectful way.
That would, well, firstly, even if that was the case, that wouldn't be misogyny.
But what did you mean by what you said?
That's not misogyny because it's not anti-women. I'm saying that an 18 or a 19-year-old woman would be more desirable.
Pretty anti-25-year-old woman.
Anti-25-year-old women we can argue, but not misogyny.
Well, that's misogyny then, isn't it?
No, it's not.
Well, being anti any woman at all is misogyny.
Piers Morgan sucks so much. You have like 3 or 4 slam dunks there every single time. It's just like you're really trying to like turn it up and be like, oh, look at this misogynistic stream, which he is. You don't need to turn it up. He's already that. You don't need to like do this thing where it's just like, you know, hard, we're coming at you, here come the angles. It's like, just let him speak for more than 6 or 7 seconds and you'll discover that he's horrifying. Everything that comes out of his mouth, it's wrong and bad and super yikes.
Not when I'm saying that women are beautiful and attractive at a certain age and saying,
because this is about domination. True. I forgot. Yeah, no, this is about power and strength.
You're saying 18, 19-year-olds are more attractive than 25?
Well, than ageist, perhaps, but misogynistic, absolutely
is that
not.
But you just accepted it was misogyny.
No, I didn't. You said it was misogyny. I'm telling you, no, it's not.
Misogyny. You thought I said it was misogyny. I don't thought we know. I don't subscribe to that. I thought we top cheap, bro.
If a 26-year-old woman is watching this and has heard those comments,
Yeah.
would you just say to her, look, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that?
No, I won't. I will say that I am sorry that offends you. However, there's a large contingent of the world.
That doesn't mean you're sorry.
No, I'm not sorry. That's the point I'm making. I'm sorry if that offends you. However, there's a large contingent of the world that believe that, and I was mediating for a conversation.
Parts of the world that believe that about 26-year-old women are parts of the world where women are not allowed out on their own.
That's a conversation.
They have to wear full burqas.
Well, that's a conversation.
They're not allowed to drive.
Of course, Piers Morgan. This is a terrible spot to be in. Both people are terrible. Andrew Tate, arguably, way more, but still, they're both pretty awful. You know, Piers Morgan has all these opportunities. Really easy win, I'll be honest with you. You got a super slam dunk there. He mispronounced the word itself. He's provided multiple examples of misogyny. It's pretty fucked up that he actually has a worldview where it's like, well, if a woman has had more sex in her life, then she's by definition a prostitute slut, and then we should not care about her. She's low value at that point. Like, there, it's all there. It's on the quote that you read out, Piers Morgan. Then immediately he's like, that's why, of course, Muslims, right? Am I right? Strange parts of the world where they treat women a little bit differently.
Cars.
That's nothing to do with me.
But is that the kind of world for women that you...
I was mediating a conversation.
No, I'm asking you what you think.
I don't live in a country where that happens.
You're using that as the excuse for why you're not sorry for saying it.
It's not an excuse.
Is that there are parts of the world where this is fine?
My friend.
So my question to you is, well, do you think it's fine?
I don't think it's fine. I live in a world where...
You don't think it's fine?
The reason
This isn't that hard, Andrew. You can simply say, Piers, you know what? With the benefit of hindsight, I wish...
You haven't caught him yet, though. You think you have. It's like... If you just provided him with, I don't know, 6 more seconds to be able to, like, draw out the noose or however you want to metaphor this or dig the grave or whatever, he's providing you all you need. This is not a difficult gotcha.
I hadn't said it like that. And if a 26-year-old woman's watching, I'm sorry I said that, because that actually is blatantly misogynist. And even though that's a view held by other parts of the world, it's not a view I share. Now, I would respect you more if you said that than if you try and say, well, it's said in other parts of the world, so I'm not sorry.
I think
that doesn't tell me what you think.
Then you need to understand why my content existed in the first place. My content existed because I tried my very hardest to be an absolute and utter realist, especially with uncomfortable truths. I was pointing out that very uncomfortable...
Is that a truth?
It's an uncomfortable truth in many parts of the world. It's not a truth that I'm...
That's just, okay, and now don't let him get away, because that's not true. He started his career out, obviously post-UFC, by using other people, specifically people who had OnlyFans, and garnishing their wages. He exploits other people, specifically women in this case. He exploits women by taking the money that they earn from sex working, and then he takes it for himself, even though he's not doing the sex work. That's pretty fucked up. One of the reasons he moved to Romania was because they have way less stringent laws on sexual assault of women, so that's also super fucked up. He has been investigated as well as raided there for human trafficking. A lot of easy wins, just one after the other, right in front of you.
Happy about.
An inquest this week found that a 14-year-old girl, Molly Russell, died from an act of self-harm while suffering from depression and the negative effects of online content. The coroner said she was exposed to material that may have influenced her in a negative way, and in addition, what started as depression had become a much more serious depressive illness, and she very sadly took her life.
That's absolutely disgusting.
Right. Her father...
It's terrible.
Her father's campaign for better protections against potentially dangerous social media outlets.
Dude, Are you serious? This is where you're going with this? This is the slam dunk? There's people he's accused of human trafficking. You don't have to be like this instance where there was online bullying, and yes, he may be implicated in the content that people who watched made her feel bad about. There's also people who have accused him of holding them against their will. You could use that as well.
Algorithms, right? It says that the particularly graphic content she saw romanticized acts of self-harm, normalized her condition, and focused on a limited and irrational view without any counterbalance of normality. First of all, what is your response to that? Nothing to do with you.
That's the first thing. Yeah, it is nothing to do with me. The fact that a 14-year-old girl took her life is truly sad. The world we live in today is... The fact that something like that happened.
I feel like this is going to be kind of a gotcha, where he's going to be like, well, actually, the father implicated you or something like that.
It's almost mind-blowing to me. That's truly sad. I actually feel sad inside to see something like that.
What has come clear to me in the interview is that a lot of things you say you wouldn't say now that you've...
There's not even that. It's just an unassociated story of someone who did something, and that's incredibly tragic. But what the fuck are you fumbling this for? This is absolutely absurd. That's Andrew Tate in front of you. The person being investigated for human trafficking. You don't need that. What the fuck?
Said before.
Well, so I'd say it differently, perhaps.
Yeah, right. So to me, that's an acceptance. Not just that you want to get back on platforms, because maybe that was one of the reasons you were no platform, but that you've recognized and understood the potential harm to the wrong kind of impressionable mind
It's Piers,
by some of the things you said. Would that be fair?
You know what? Fair. I was about to push back on that, but that's a fair call out. There's nothing to be expected from Piers. He's terrible. He's like, my impression going into this is he's terrible, but he's not as bad as Andrew Tate. But that's never going to be a setup for a good scenario. It's never going to be like, okay, so we got someone who's pretty shit, yeah, but someone who's way shittier. It's like, okay, and they're going to clash. I was like, all right. I guess we root for the less shit and hope that they come out on top somehow. Oh no, they're being shitty. What a surprise.
I think that's 80% fair. I recognize and understand that with massive fame, you have to be more careful about being misconstrued. Like I said earlier, 1% of people misunderstanding you doesn't matter with a small audience. It matters with a very large audience. With power comes responsibility. I still believe the things I say. I do not want to be a negative force for the world. I also understand that I am a man who's lived a very difficult, nuanced life, and I am capable of making nuanced points that may be misunderstood by teenagers. However, that can be said about anybody and everything. Every opinion online can be misunderstood by children. Trying to protect children from the internet is a very interesting subject in and of itself, because I would argue that 80% of the content on the internet can be negative or detrimental to a young mind that doesn't understand the world.
So interesting early preview there of my...
Yeah, it was. You did fucking horrible. Not only did you do complete and utter shit, like, that's the best of the best. That, like, you just showed the best version of yourself. It's like, hey, by the way, you have to see this interview that I've had with Andrew Tate. It's actually quite stunning, the things that I've said to him, and we'll see this later on tonight and see whether or not that I actually got the better of him. I will say, he was a moxie one, but I came around like a little ferret in the very end. We'll have to see. No, that was fucking shit. That was really bad. That's all of it. Piers, you're so bad. You're so shit. You let that, like, slip away between your fingers. Do you enjoy the Serfs, but prefer not to have to use your eyeballs? Many are saying this. Well, we've got the solution for you. It's the Serf Times in podcast form. Available on most major podcasting networks now. If you enjoy it, please consider leaving a good review and feedback, because it really helps the show out, apparently, and it's free. Just like the podcast.
To our gods, Xander Corvus and Peyton L. Juste, we shall spend many a generations building mighty cathedrals in your honor. To our monarch, Tom Spiker, we are but your oafish jesters, here to offer you a laugh at any opportunity. To our brave knights of the Round Table, Rachel K., Izzy Solidarity, Victoria Bell, Sebastian Demmel, Mark Harmon, Benji Arney, Scary Earth Human, Tony, DM Rivera, Resident Scarecrow, Sir Nickus, Cheryl Alvarez, Ruby Kelly, Brandon, Words Greenwood, Everything Important, Hegbert Celine, Matthew Scarborough, Stellar Vision, Ariane McCarthy, Doug Cady, Daniel Sutton, Jenna Tal, Dark Puppy, Quiet One 85, Anna Loves Riley, Omni, Riley and Anna, Poodlehawk, Multimondi, Trevbot EXE, Brian Ephraim, Anthropophojak, Catherine, Ramon Acosta, Incosin, Ralph Parler, Violent Orchard, Political Puppy, La Media Panza, Todd Buckingham, and Todd La Jeunesse. We salute our valiant heroes off to fight injustice everywhere.